go. It was only partially your fault. Low game. Okay. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Kitty? Oh my god. Monica! Oh my goodness. I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So having her smile at me genuinely feels a little... what did you come in here for anyway? Oh! I've just been looking for supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. Oh god. A literature club! Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that. But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything: reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monica say she? I'm gonna say it right here before anything more terrible happens. Hey Kitty, by any chance, are you still looking for a club to join? Well, yes, actually. I mean, I guess so, but in that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Awesome! You're really sweet, Kitty, you know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go, then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. And thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. Oh god. That's worse than selling it for cupcakes. I timidly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. I'm back! And I brought a guest with me. Whoa. Yeah? A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. You could disappear too. But anyway, welcome to the club, kitty. All words seem to escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. I didn't learn a thing. So, let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki? The girl with the sour attitude whose name is apparently Natsuki is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. Anyways, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual and about to die. And this is Yuri, the vice president. Oh, wow. No, she's vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So, I ran into Kitty in a classroom, and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Let's save here again. Okay, I'm gonna return. Wait! Monika! Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? Who made her president? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that, but just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Kitty? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens a closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So, I know you really didn't plan on coming here. But we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make club as fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people... I'm sorry, my line. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work very hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. But I'll take care of her, too. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I mean that, you know... I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Kitty, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read the past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Oh, that could change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyways, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. Oh, that changed. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think, or it takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind at the last club meeting. It looked like you were writing a poem on it called... Don't say it out loud! And give that back! Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example to help Natsuki feel more comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture this club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Kitty? Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls still back at me with dejected eyes. Dejected? They look like serial killers. But... I'm sorry, I thought... The girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Kitty. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival... Uh-oh. I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I'm gonna save right here. If I keep playing, I'm just gonna save more often. I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation, and besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing is a price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girl's eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Kitty? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you're really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Kitty, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Kitty, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls. Tsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right. I just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. I guess it starts with writing a poem tonight. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Yes. A dream. I was staying over at my friend's place. There were 4 of us. I drifted off to sleep while everyone was talking and watching TV. In my dream, I was still at my friend's house. The only difference was that there were nails sticking out of the walls everywhere. And there was also someone I didn't recognize. The person I didn't recognize told a joke and everyone laughed. I woke up to the sound of everyone laughing at something that happened on the TV. So the laughing was not part of the dream. It was the noise that woke me up. I wonder who that person was, and how they knew to tell a joke at that moment. Creepy. Oh god, now the music's really creepy. Okay, let's see. Flee? Because I want to run away. Vertigo, which I get a lot. Tenacious. Oh my god, she really loves this poem so far. Graveyard. Unrequited. Misfortune. dream. Let's say nightgown for whatever reason. Okay, she likes one. Grief. Despise. I'm starting to figure out what kind of girl she is. Defeat. Oh my god, did you see that crazy face? Entropy. Crimson. Meager. Explode. Horror. Frightening. Wrath. Playground. Sounds kind of spooky. And her eyes went funny too. Melancholy. Okay, I know what girl's gonna like his poem. Hi again, kitty. I gotta say. Hold on, return. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I kept my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club, and the music's goofy. Oh my god! Look at that picture in the background! Oh my god, she's hanging herself. Oh my god. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Oh, holy crap. Thanks for keeping your promise, kitty. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh my god, what was that? Oh, come on! Like, he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take it seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Suki has a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room, I guess? Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, kitty. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyways, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in the club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not like that, Yuri. I want to try to be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like... Well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked up a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked up a book on the thing I'll like, despite me not reading much. Oh, thank you! I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. There goes the music again. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Mitsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. At the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of the book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Ah! Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sinks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mother this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh! It's fine. If I was focused, I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's a book you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. I'm just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant! I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious going on here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down, kind of like this game. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyways? Well... I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Hey, the poster disappeared. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that's a little bit of a spoiler. But anyways, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of... It's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like we were going to be reading a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Kitty? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot Yuri's into these things. She's so shy and reclusive that on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants them to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people, and we're all worthless anyways. Well, then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. We all have demons inside us, apparently. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body is incredibly something. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So, I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I'm talking too much. I'm gonna save. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Oh, holy crap, what was that? Yes! I mean, you don't have to, but... what were we saying? Let me... Yeah, my line. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I put into my bag. Alright, fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. Soon understand Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry! I was just begging into something of your presence. Yuri, you apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I didn't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I could feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Oh god, we're in over our head. Yeah! Thanks! We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page feels almost like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her thumb. Hey, Yuri! This might be a silly thought, but the main character reminds me of you a little bit. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses the things she says and all that. God, she looks creepy right now. That's what you were talking about? Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind! We didn't even get that far yet. So, I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... Like, breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyways, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Kitty? Did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri's acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? Sorry, can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. What? No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyways, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while. So I just figured we'd get started without her. Uh-oh, I'm gonna save. Charm. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Who shall I show my poem to first? Let's get Nasty Natsuki out of the way. Now let's try Monica. I should start with Monica. Yesterday, she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort. Hi, Kitty. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever need any ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Kitty. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But that's sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Kitty! I was going ooh in my head the whole time while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Wow. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yay! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. We all just started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should get my poem now. Anyways, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, That's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks in my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe capacitates. Before it reaches my lungs, I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what do you think? I think you're a little crazy, girl. It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm really not the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on their timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets so fixated on a specific point. If you're trying so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy up later. Other way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Okay, I'm gonna save. Yes. Okay, return. Okay, let's pick, let's pick Yuri, and then we'll, end for the day. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a deep breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicate you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off to find an excuse. She traces her fingers along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. That's the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are more specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through it myself, I've learned to pick up on them. I think the most notable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri has her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor terribly changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. I thought she liked the poem. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Nitsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased how? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or Nitsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought processes behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if it's a rare opportunity for her. Which in itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last to get replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Okay. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you liked it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Kitty. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you only did glance at it over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Yeah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all of this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Kitty. Me too. Okay, I'm gonna end it there, and I will rejoin you guys next time you like what you see. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're gonna save. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.